patios. Now, the apartment has been converted into an exhibition space, which was made possible because the columns, as with the facade, structure the building. As the walls were not load-bearing, removing them had no effect on stability. Senora Mila disliked the furniture designed by Gaudi for the interior. Chairs, armchairs, screens, buffets. She changed the interior decoration of her apartment into a neoclassical style that corresponded better to her idea of real luxury. But she prudently waited until the death of the architect in 1926 to conceal the undulating ceilings and cover up the irregular columns, damaged by the mysterious inscriptions engraved on the stone, which have only recently been revealed. Pardon. Forget. Is the Casa Mila a townhouse or an apartment building? Contrary to the archaism of the owner's staircases, Gaudi incorporated an innovation that was for the use of the tenants alone, a lift as the central and exclusive axis. He made the middle class of his time give up their traditional master staircase. There is no other exit from the landings except for the lift. No other way up, no emergency exits. The problem for Gaudi was to organize the space into both single and multiple residences to accommodate the power aspirations of the patrons and the imperatives of the tenants. Gaudi designed a double building in which the architectural elements interrelated without any of them being exactly the same. Acting on this premise, the architect distributed the apartments so that each of them has an interior facade giving onto the patio, and also an outer facade on the street. While the Milas had an apartment taking up the whole of the first floor of the building, an area of 1,600 square meters, the rented apartments were crowded into several upper floors, 400 square meter apartments on each floor, 2 to each landing around each of the patios. The dwellings are arranged around a main corridor along the interior courtyard. That is all they have in common. The absence of load-bearing walls, just as in the Mila apartment, gave Gaudi complete freedom in the way he laid out the interior space. The partitions can be altered, rooms can be added or made smaller. Each floor is different. The organization of the apartments is variable. It is only right at the back of these luxury apartments that the little service stairs and emergency exits are to be found. Although they only have an auxiliary role, here, as everywhere else, you are borne along the waves. Each of the banisters undulates at its own rhythm, the wrought iron forms constantly renewed. Even though these little stairways are accorded no more than a discreet entrance from the bottom of the patios in order to emphasize the preeminence of the lifts. Situated above the apartment floors, only the attics have a terrace. Gaudi's idea was that the attics and the terrace of the building should constitute a protective area and a roof, respectively. It is no longer the columns that structure this part of the building, but the catenary arches in brick that avoid adding the weight of a heavy terrace to the building. The big brick columns are not load-bearing. This is the stairwell. It leads up to the terrace. There it becomes badalo, a construction imagined by Gaudi, parts covered with fragments of stone, marble, enameled ceramics, others coated with limewash and plaster. 270 parabolic arches form a brick vaulting. These arches have no bearing pressure points, and the compressive stress on the bricks gives the arch a unique strength. Although the attics are no more than insulated areas used for washing and drying linen, Gaudi showed a marked taste for religious architecture. There is a